Hi friends, this is Sumit from Madira Diaries, and today we have come to a liquor store in the US just to show you how different fine wines, beers, spirits are here. What are the different ones? You can take a tour, see what all they have inside. The place is called Liquor Cave. We are in New Jersey state. Let's go see what's there and see how the stores look like here in the US. So let's go in, and there is Mr. Johnny Walker along with White Walker himself to welcome us. The store starts with a huge collection of wine, and they are arranged by the variety of the grape. First the reds. Here's Cabernet, which is very popular variety from the Napa and Sonoma regions in California. So is the Pinot Noir and Merlot. All these wines are made with classical grape variety and are here from the US. There is the red blends, where different grape varieties are mixed. Moving on to the section of white wine. There are a lot of Chardonnay, Pinot Grigio, Sauvignon Blanc, Riesling, and Moscato, which many people like because it is very sweet and it's a good beginner wine and great in the summers and when it's warm outside. There are also international wines arranged by their location, like those from Spain, Portugal, Italy, etc. Here's the section for sake wine, which is Japanese wine made by the fermentation of rice. I'm not very familiar by their names, but have had it in restaurants served both hot and cold. They pair very well with the cuisine. Here's wine from New Zealand and Australia, and the 19 Crimes wine, the bottle that can talk using augmented reality technology. We did make a video on this. To end the wine section, we have sweet wine, we have bottles of sangria red wine that have the fruit flavor. There's also wine in paperboard boxes, and these are usually less expensive. There's also wines available in these big bottles if you want to have a big party. Now let's move on to the most important section, the whiskey section. First, let's start with American whiskey, the bourbon whiskey. We have the classics Jack Daniel, Jim Beam, which are available internationally and are famous brands. There are other famous distilleries like Wild Turkey and Bullet, who are known for their bourbons as well. Then we have a plethora of other varieties of bourbons and rye whiskies from different distilleries across USA, like Woodford Reserve, Buffalo Trace, Elijah Craig, Four Roses, and so many more. Different expressions of Jim Beam are also available. The bourbon craze in this country is on the rise, and you can see so many different varieties coming from different states. Here's Maker's Mark and a lot of Jack Daniel expressions like Gentleman Jack, Jack Daniel straight from the barrel. Moving to Irish whiskey, there is Tullamore Dew and the very famous Jameson whiskey. The different expressions include Black Barrel, the Indian Pale Ale Beer Edition, finished in beer barrels, the Cold Brew Edition, finished in coffee barrels. There's also Green Spot and Yellow Spot, which are other famous Irish whiskies, and there's a section of Japanese whiskies as well. Now moving on to the Scotch section, all the classic. As you can see, there are all the different expressions of Glenlivet, Highland Park, Glenfiddich. Monkey Shoulder, the Lagavulin Special Edition, like the 11-year finished in Guinness barrel, and of course the Glenmorangies and the Lefroys. And you can see some bottom shelfer scotches, those are the less expensive ones, like the McClellans, smoky ones if you like the smoky type, the Taliskers, the Ardbags. Here's a glenfiddich display of their 14-year-old expression. Some really nice Balvenie expressions. And look what's hiding in here. That's the Rampur Asava, finished in Cabernet Sauvignon barrels. Let's go back to some Indian whiskies. We forgot about them. Let's look at the Amrut and other Rampur varieties. There is the Rampur Asava, finished in Cabernet Sauvignon barrels, which I think I'm going to get. One last look at the different bottles of the scotches before we move on. Oh, look at this cabinet. There are some really old fancy bottles in this closed cabinet, mostly 18 years or older. Some great 25-year-old expressions from many distilleries. There's Mr. Johnny Walker again. And here is Don Julio Tequila and some Hennessy brand. Let's move to those sections. Starting with tequila, we have Patron, Casamigos, co-founded by George Clooney, Terramana, founded by Dwayne Johnson himself. Many of these are good sipping tequilas, but you can make some mean mojitos too, and of course other cocktails with tequila. There is the 1800 tequila also spotted on the case there. Moving on to the cognac section, starting of course with Remy Martin varieties, Martel, all making VSOP versions, the very special versions. And we see the Taurus 10 brandy, which we have reviewed in this channel from Spanish. It's a Spanish brandy. Moving on to rums, lots of white and dark rums, especially from the Caribbean region. We spot the Zacapa from Guatemala, another one that we have spoken about. Havana Clubs, Christian Brothers, and of course our very own Indian Old Monk. You see 3 different expressions here. I have to pick one of these. It's not available where I live. Here are some more flavored rums. Now moving on to the gin section. We have the classics, the Hendrix, the Bombay Sapphire, Beefeater, Bulldog, etc. Oh, and we forgot the huge collection of Bacardi rums from the previous section. Moving on to vodka, lot of varieties. The Svedka, the Swedish vodka always catches your eye with their colorful looking bottles. And of course the Absolute vodka, also from Sweden. Different varieties, different flavors, you can spot in most of the bars. And the New Amsterdam vodka is also a good one, not so pricey. Moving on to liqueurs, cordials and schnapps. We have Sambuca, Jägermeister, Baileys and Kahlua. These are coffee liqueurs. There's Godiva chocolate liqueurs for all the chocolate lovers, chocolate deliciousness, and so many more liqueurs I have no idea about. Hard to know it all, right? There's Martini Vermouth and many more that go into different cocktails. Okay, let's move on to the beer section. What is here? Some big Brewers bottle on the way, and these are for $32, 1.75 liter I think. And we missed this good looking bottle. What is that? Looks like a fancy bottle. It's called Kinsma Rauli. It's a semi-sweet wine from Georgia. I'm sure I pronounced it wrong. Apparently it was very popular in the Soviet period, and it's made from a grape called Peravi grape. Another display of Black Label, Red Label, Jim Beam and Smirnoff along the way to the beer section. Okay, here we are at the beers. First, the domestic beers from US. The light beers like Miller Lite, Budweiser, Coors Light. There are some Mexican beers like Corona, Modelo. Other big brands like Stella Artois, Blue Moon, Guinness. Overall, huge section of beer, and there's also some hard lemonades and spiked seltzer water, which are getting very popular. So they're basically sparkling water with alcohol in it, like 4% alcohol. Moving on to craft beer, another very big section. I'm just going to pass through it all. It's hard to speak about all the breweries. There are so many from different parts of the US over here. Lot of Indian Pale Ale expressions, hazy IPAs, different varieties. Here are some breweries I know of, like Sam Adams, Sierra Nevada, and the Stone Indian Pale Ale, which I think is from California. If you liked the video, do hit that like button, subscribe, and comment what you liked. Signing off, this is Sumit from Madera Diaries.